At the age of 69, Arsene Wenger says he's desperate to get back into management. I guess the question for you, Shaka, is would that be advisable for him, do you think?
Well, I mean, it's his call to make, quite obviously, and given the fact that he also goes on to say that he's turned down a number of offers, I guess there are options there for him, but so far none of them seem to be the right fit, certainly in his mind, which leaves me at this point questioning what is a good fit for Arsene Wenger. As you mentioned, 69 years old, turning down clubs, suggests that he thinks that he needs to be at a club of a certain level. But then when you think of Arsene Wenger and his accomplishments as a manager and the kind of club that he may be interested in managing, are any of those clubs in the market for a 69-year-old who's been out of the game for the last few years? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, with the calibre of his credentials, we take a look at some of his statistics in the Premier League, certainly second only in terms of number of wins to Sir Alex Ferguson. You could argue that age isn't a barrier. Of course, Sir Bobby Robson went on to 71, 73 as a consultant.
Yeah.
Do you see any clubs, any clubs in particular crying out for that kind of experience, bringing through young players with the record that he had?
Well, if you have that kind of experience and in a younger manager who maybe who remained involved in the game, then yes. I think there are a number of issues here for Arsene Wenger. And you mentioned Sir Bobby Robson and as a consultant. I think Arsene Wenger as a consultant or director of football, whatever it may be, makes sense. But the suggestion certainly from Arsene Wenger is that he wants to be back coaching. And you understand that. You miss being on the training ground. You miss being on the sidelines. I just don't see him fitting a coaching role right now. And that's because when you hire somebody like Arsene Wenger, just given his own record, reputation, and what he did and how he did it at clubs like, let's use Arsenal for example, he restructured how this team trained. He restructured things in terms of player contracts and a certain level of parity about it. He oversaw the rebuilding of the new stadium. Now, if you're a big club and you don't have these things in place and you are looking to establish any number of those things, then maybe Arsene Wenger is a good fit. But at 69, it's a short-term fit. You don't hire Arsene Wenger. You don't hire a 69-year-old. Thinking 5 or 6 years down the line. You think of him in the short term, and again, maybe as a consultant for the longer term. But just kind of give him what Arsene Wenger is suggesting, and again, what I sit here and think would be a good fit, we're not in sync here.
I suppose that would be the problem, wouldn't it? He gave such a huge amount of his career to one club, and it was a long, very long building process at Arsenal. Some would say it went on a little too long, but yes, he's now going to be confronted with the problem of you can't go and replicate that another 22 years somewhere else.
And that's a challenge. Listen, take nothing away from Arsene Wenger and what he did at Arsenal and elsewhere. And I was as critical of Arsene Wenger in the last few years of his Arsenal reign as any. But when you look at what he did over the span of his career, second, as you say, only in Windsor to Sir Alex Ferguson, that is some accomplishment. And Arsene Wenger, despite, again, how those last few years went, I hope that doesn't taint how he's remembered in this game.
Okay, so 1 year on after leaving the Emirates, where he had such an incredible influence, not only there but across the Premier League, Arsene Wenger says he's desperate to get back into management. We'll see if the right fit comes along. He's, of course, turned down Fulham, supposedly a couple of times. We'll see if there is a club out there wanting the skills of Arsene Wenger.